Hello, everyone. If that hasn't woke you up, we will. We are here to speak about mindset and change today for the Hear Us Roar Leopard edition launch. I'm here with some amazing, phenomenal women. I have had so many people reach out to me from yesterday to say how inspired they were, how everyone brought something different yesterday and they learned so much. So kudos to all of our Hear Us Roar authors in our Leopard edition. Honestly, that's what you're going to get today as well, because I have the most amazing lineup of women all over the world who are going to come and connect with you today, share with you about mindset and change. So let's get started. And today is special because we're on a #1 campaign for the Hear Us Roar Leopard edition. Okay, so go and grab your copy on Amazon Kindle today, wherever you are, and let's get us to #1 because these stories are phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to bring up Kelly Van Nelson, who's in every one of these books and is sharing a story in all 8 books, and we'll have our own edition of Hear Me Roar in New York whenever we're there later this year. Kelly, come and join me. How you going?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm really, really good. And your mindset's buzzing with the 3 a.m. news today, so we're going to get the best of you. I know it. So, Kelly, you've been on the Hear Us Roar adventure for quite a while now. So can you share with everyone a little bit what you do and also a little bit about what mindset and change means to you?
Thanks. Yeah. What do I do? I mean, I always try and say I'm an author, poet, an executive in defense industry, and a mum, and all of those things coexist. So yeah, it's always crazy, always full steam in life, and it's good to sort of calm it all down a little bit with some writing and poetry. And having the right mindset, I suppose. So I am always drawn to the Hear It Roar work that is being done by amazing authors, and thrilled to be a part of it. And this one is about mindset. I am trying to do all 8, but mindset is probably my favorite go-to superpower.
Yes, absolutely. And we were like, it's mindset and change, and people are like, hey, a leopard doesn't change its spots, and we're like, well, everything can change. But Kelly, you are an amazing poet. Like, this is how we first connected. I remember we connected at a author event in Perth, and you were like, I have some poems that I used to write, and we started putting these out there, like Graffiti Lane. It seems like an age ago. When was that? Like 2018 or
2019, 2018 I met you, and then that was I've got this little bunch of poems. Let's see what we can do with them, and I had nearly 500 and it started there. And I mean, I've always wrote poetry, always wrote prose, and it just started to come together to get it out there, get the work sort of moving. And I started playing with themes and grouping different ideas into different themes and then playing with that. So I still do that. And Graffiti Lane was the first book that came out there, which was so cool, with the whole sort of theme being around street art and sort of bit on the underbelly, and bullying as well, anti-bullying, and sort of rising above some of those setbacks in life. And just keep playing with it. Each book that I've had out tries to have a theme like that, or it plays on a word play or something like that. And this story in this one, I play a little bit on word play, which is just tiny little bits of repeat. And I messed about with that. And I do like to do that, sort of fuse different styles and play about with the written word and how it looks and how it speaks if you say it out loud. And this story is called Gold Nugget, actually, which is about a coal mine in Newcastle, where I'm from, many years ago. At the top of the street, it is about a derelict coal mine, very loosely, but it's more about the gold nugget that is within you, and you can dig it out no matter what.
Absolutely, we all have golden nuggets buried. We just need to go hunting for them, don't we? Exactly. It gets a bit messy, but however, we can always spruce ourselves up afterwards. I absolutely love hearing you doing slams, like how you do poetry, and when you're speaking, you always just deliver for the crowd. It's just phenomenal. I'm not going to make you do it at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, definitely early hours.
But I highly recommend that 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 you go and check out some of our, because Kelly has done this before, and it's just so phenomenal. And you used to tour around all the time. Remember during COVID, we had the MMH Press. We used to do a poetry group every week, and everyone used to come, and poetry just really took off during COVID. And I think there was a New York Times best-selling book that was a poetry book, and it just made it cool again. And so poetry really lifted off. How many books of poetry have you got done now? Because you have one coming out shortly.
I do, yeah. I've got 8 books in total, and I think only 2 of them are fiction. 2 of them are fiction. So yeah, I'm on 6 poetry. 4 of them are each one of them on a theme. One's an anthology, which I put together during COVID. You're totally right. We were doing the rounds and doing podcasts and poetry events and slam events, and the online community went crazy. And I pulled the anthology together around that, called Globalization. That one during COVID. And then we did a coffee table book with, again, back to fusing of styles, bringing in street photography of just different images around. A lot of them were around Melbourne and Sydney, and then overlaying the poem, and it looked beautiful. I still love that book.
So gorgeous.
It's off of Graffiti Lane. Yeah, like limited edition. And then a couple of fictions. Yeah. But yeah, I love it. I still love it. It's my go-to.
So you work in a day job, and it's kind of in corporate. It's kind of like a lot of responsibility jobs. But can you share with us the importance of tapping into creativity? Because I know whenever I come knocking on your door going, creative Kelly, come out to play.
It is a challenge.
Yes.
That's exactly it. Definitely is a challenge. So I've always worked in the corporate world for, forever, from, working full time from being 18 or whatever. And over the years, I've sort of moved up the ranks into C-suite positions. But for the last little while, I've been working in defence, and I've been working both in Australia and in the UK. In the defence sector, and that means all kinds of weird and wonderful hours, and it means crazy purposeful work. And it's hard to articulate. My daughter is with me here at the moment. She's just flown in from Oz, and she was speaking to one of the commanders at work, and she said, I don't even know what my mum does in defence. And he said, she protects the nation. And I laughed at that, because anyone who works in defence will resonate with that sort of phrase. But yeah, you're balancing, and writing remains the go-to to balance the mind and just try and unwind a bit after whatever the day's work is. And I will always love it, and I will always find it personal therapy first. And you nudge me quite often if I've been sleepy too long in the corporate side too long. It's okay, give the prod, and then I will spin something up, get an idea, and then pull at that idea, and something super creative will come. But it's a go-to. It's just therapy go-to.
Yeah, it's so good. And I just love, and then it just awakened you again back in, and you've been writing again now, so it's just like beautiful. Kelly, thank you so much for inspiring everyone with your journey, but also with your attitude to life. Is that yes, there's some things in life that we must do, but we can do it with grace and style, and have it all, and being able to tap into creativity is just, I see you do it, and I just feel like, see, it's just magic.
Yeah, you just got to enjoy life.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, Kelly, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for getting up.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks all.
Share with us your mindset and change. Bye, Kelly. Beautiful. Sorry, I was a bit distracted trying to get Angie back in the room. She was in the wrong room. Good to see you backstage, Angie. I'm going to bring up the wonderful one and only Lauren Clement from the Audacious Agency. Come and join me, Lauren.
Well, hello, lovely lady. How are you?
Long time no see, hey?
Crazy. We sort of see each other sporadically, and then we see each other a lot when we're in New York together, and then in Sydney and all that. And funny, one of these days we're going to meet each other at an airport, I reckon, as we're both going in different directions around the world. So yeah, fun.
But we have fun doing it, isn't it? We're on a joyride, and we make amazing things happen. So we just keep on keeping on. So let's talk about mindset and change. I was like, Lauren, in the midst of everything, can you please just write me 2,500 words on mindset and change, please? So can you talk to me about that, and how people can tie that into what they're doing and tie it into what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And Karen, thank you as well for this amazing platform and everything you do with Hear Us Roar. It's an extraordinary community around the world of unbelievably inspirational stories that you've put together in this series. Every single one of them that I've read just makes me think, wow. Often, you go, oh, I'm having such a hard time. I'm having such a difficult day, or it's really a struggle for me at the moment. And you read somebody else's story and you go, well, I haven't got it anywhere near as difficult as they have, so just get over myself and move on. But also just the motivation that a lot of your authors have in terms of what they've had to deal with and how they've just battled through and absolutely done amazing things. I actually reread my chapter in preparation for today, and I thought, oh, that's actually not too bad, which is quite nice. It reminded me of your origin story. And so often amazing personal brands come from the depths of very normal stories, but they end up being quite tangible in terms of how you can position yourself in the world. And this is what I'm here to be. This is what I'm on this planet to achieve. Funny when you ask me, Lauren, can you write, a couple of thousand words for me? If you'd asked me when I was 8 years old, I would have just nodded my head in disbelief that you'd even asked me, because that was when I was told I had word blindness and I would never be able to read or write like the other children in the classroom did, which sounds like a horrible thing for a teacher to say to somebody at that age. But he knew me really well. He knew that whatever someone told me I couldn't do, I was going to be out to prove you wrong, right? So an amazing teacher, Mr. Higgett. I don't even know if he's still alive. I've got the report he wrote about my ability to read still in my drawer, because at the end of the 2 years at that school, as I went off to high school, he basically at the bottom of the report wrote, if we had a class full of Laurens, there's no end to what we could achieve. And it's like, still gives me goosebumps every time. I should frame it, shouldn't I? Put it on the wall. But yeah, if you told a dyslexic 8-year-old Lauren she was going to write lots of words for books, I just would have laughed at you and run away probably. So this is I just worked it out. I think it's the 10th book that I've been involved with. 5 of them my own, and lots of other anthologies that I've been involved with. And it is bizarre for someone reading through that story, struggling to see the hieroglyphics that were in front of my eyes and work out that they were words. And here we are celebrating the stories of these amazing books and the successes of those authors. So thank you so much for including me in this incredible edition, Leopard. And I do think a leopard maybe doesn't change its spots, but they themselves become part of change. Yeah. And there's no such thing as, believing that the world's always going to be the way it is, because just never the case. It's always going to be an opportunity to do something different.
Absolutely. And it's funny, Lauren, we're very connected in that way. I too had the same type of experience in high school with my English teacher, and it affected my belief system, but my English teacher didn't have the same intentions as your teacher did to get the best out of you. And maybe shocked to see, but that gave me fire in my belly as well. And I think that a lot of the women on this panel today will be able to connect with that. You tell somebody they can't do it, you go, watch me, watch me do it.
Yeah, hold my beer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, reverse psychology, isn't it? But it's phenomenal what we achieve whenever we set. There's nothing that you can't do, no matter what somebody tells you. And it's important for us as people that are out there speaking to people, and even speaking to my own children. Words are very powerful. And I think that you really need to have a duty of care with how you are sharing things with others. And as much as we will be inspiring for others, we do have a duty of care to make sure that if we're guiding someone through something, we have to stick with it, not just leave them with it, especially the younger generation, isn't it?
Well, yes, the whole point of this as leaders is to empower others to step into the shoes that you've been in, and opening up those paths and those opportunities for them. I talk a lot about I mean, I grew up living in the bush in New Zealand, and we used to spend a lot of time messing around, chasing pigs, messing around building what we call bivvies, which is these makeshift places to stay in, and cubbies and things, and fishing and hunting for eels. And just we had such a great lifestyle as children living in the bush, and that huge freedom. But it was in the bush in New Zealand's quite thick, and it's quite green, and it rains a lot there. So it's very, very easy in New Zealand to take a step off the path, and all of a sudden you're discombobulated. You don't know which way you've come from. You're not quite sure where to go. It doesn't look the same as what it did 2 minutes ago, and I don't know where the path is. So we never got lost as kids. We were only ever temporarily misplaced, was what we used to call it, because we never wanted to admit that we got lost in the bush. But it happened a lot because of the fact that it was so easy to think you're on track, and all of a sudden you're not. And I think that's the big part of my chapter in this book, is the difficulty you have if you just go round and round and round in circles in your life, and you don't push yourself out of your comfort zone. You don't look to be challenged. You don't look to maybe make those steps as a leader, and then turn around and see who else is behind you that could do with just a little hand up to follow you down that path and to get to where they need to be. And finding your own path as well was a big part of my journey. I mean, I learned how to read by remembering the shape of words. And I use that even now today. Thank goodness we've now got spell check, we've got AI, we've got amazing things that can help us edit and make sure we spell things correctly, although I still mess up. But I think it's really important that every one of us is put here on this planet for a purpose. And if we spend all of our life wondering what that purpose is, without taking the time to figure it out and to decide this is the path I want to be on, you can end up getting very lost and very misaligned, and all of a sudden you don't know why you're even doing what you're doing. So it's so important to me that, and I think your books and the way that you've created this Hear Us Roar community really are guiding lights. Every single one of these stories is a guiding light that you can look through the book and find the story, find the part of the story that speaks to you in that moment, and use that to really empower you to keep going. No matter how lost you might feel, you've got someone's story to follow and a path to find.
So powerful, Lauren. Amazing. And honestly, I'm so proud of the Hear Us Roar books. I'm proud that I was chosen to lead them. But really, the stories that are we have over 250. I have to recount. We're probably over 300 stories already that are just so different and so powerful, and all come under different themes. And it's just it excites me no end, because I show up every day for the power of story. That is why I show up, and for people to show up and share their stories. And Hear Us Roar kind of asks something different of people. It's not showcasing your business or whatever. It is asking you to share your story, and everyone's coming from a healed perspective. So there's something to gift the reader. There's something in there that's really special that helps. It's like holding out that. It's like saying, "Come and follow me. I'll get you back on the right path." Just like you were doing in New Zealand when you were a kid, and not having fear. You weren't ever afraid of getting lost. You were. Oh, we're on a bigger adventure than we thought we were on this morning, but you always find your way home. And I think that life is that. No matter where you are today, you're going to have to recalibrate, and realign yourself in life all of the time. We're never stagnant. Change is inevitable. So we've got to embrace it, isn't it, Lauren?
Absolutely. I think human beings underestimate how totally adaptable we are. We're so good at, figuring out problems and overcoming challenges and finding a way through or over, and making our way through. One thing I'd like out of my story in this book to encourage people is to understand that whatever life throws at you, you have more than enough capability to get yourself to the other side of it. And I've been very fortunate in my life that I haven't had to deal with massive trauma or, all sorts of things that are amazing other storytellers in your series have. But at the same time, I really love the idea of having that adaptable, pliable neuro brain that's able to do the most incredible things and think your way out of situations that you might find you're really struggling with. Just by sharing your story with other people is such a great way of guiding other people along and finding their way.
I see that master brain of yours at work many times, Lauren.
The mini brains moment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just before you go, I just wanted to say that I love what you do for people in awards. You look at, because people showing up and sharing about their own is fine, but whenever you put a lens, you have this genius on of being able to just see someone's story and pull out what, and then you showcase when you're going, oh, wow, I did do all of that. That's wonderful. So, and I speak from personal experience, so I appreciate that.
Oh,
in
thank
you.
you,
And
Karen. It is a thing. I think a lot of women have this problem in that we are so focused on today and what we have to do for tomorrow and planning and so on, that we don't often stop and reflect on what's actually got us to where we are. And I guess that's part of mindset as well, isn't it? Is when you've got challenges or you've got something that you may be a bit fearful of or something you're not sure about, is to just look back and see, well, what have I already achieved? How did I get to where I am? And that gives you that ability to step forwards. But I love shining a light on the extraordinary stories and the amazing impact and influence that people have. I'm very blessed that, yes, it's all about even my name. My name, Lauren, comes from the laurel tree, which in Greek history was woven into crowns and put round the heads of their champions. So it's always been the laurel leaves. Always been the symbol of victory. The laurel leaves. Beautiful. And we see them on the Oscars posters and everything else. So in fact, it's called having an acronym. It's like having Mr. Ball, the PE teacher, or Mr. Plumber who fixes the toilet, So I'm Lauren, and I'm here to help shine a light on the victors, on the ones who've just done extraordinary things that need to stop being the world's best kept secret and start stepping into their amazing success and what they're doing.
It's beautiful. Well, thank you for showing up and inspiring everyone. Can you imagine she got all of that in 2,500 words, guys? Like, what? Thank you, Lauren. As always, a pleasure and an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Yes, Karen. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, all right, guys. You're going to meet another phenomenal woman who is on our lineup today, which is the amazing Katrina Worth. Come and join me, Katrina. Hello.
And hello, thank you so much for having me, Karen. It's an honour to be included in such a powerhouse of stories and to be invited to contribute. I'm humbled, really.
Oh, I happy danced when you said yes. You should see my lovely happy Irish dance. I was like, because you are like, you embody so much of the same values I have, like being a mom is so important to me. I love stories and books as well. And you just go for it. And it's just so beautiful for you to show up and say yes to sharing your story in the Leopard Mindset and Change book. So can you share with everyone, like, what does mindset and change mean to you, Katrina?
So for me, mindset really, it's about, not pretending that life isn't going to be hard or that life may be hard. It's about making a choice, so deciding who you're going to become after what happens to you. And that's really my story, is that things are going to happen in your life. I call it curveballs. You're going to be hit by curveballs. And it's really up to you to decide how you're going to cushion that blow and whether it's going to actually define you when things happen to you or it's going to develop you. And look, we all have a choice. We wake up every day with a choice. And, listening to a lot of your authors, I think we all have the same mindset around that. Every morning I wake up and I make a choice that today is going to be a good day. And so whatever happens, going in with that feeling or embodying that, I think we have a choice. And look, none of us are getting out of this thing called life alive. So we've got one, we might as well make the best of it. And whatever curveball comes your way, set up systems, set up processes to cushion it. And as you know, I'm all about raising our children to be worthwhile human beings who go out and contribute positively to the world, who go out and make the world a better place. And, I'm always at the forefront that be curious and be kind. And that's how we live our lives.
Oh, it's so beautiful to listen to you. You just express that. I wrote down, it either defines you or develops you, and that is just so true, isn't it? It's so tragic to, like, I've been through a few road bumps in life, but I also know what it's like to be unconditionally loved and all of that, and the super fuel that is for a foundation for life. But life happens. We're human. And then if something knocks you, and it can either define you or develop you. You choose the lessons in it, and you grow from it. That's the thing. And I think whenever you've been knocked down a few times, you learn the rhythm of it, and you understand that whenever you grow, you go next level in something, and then you have something to contribute to others as well, because you will have experienced something, you will have explored something, you may have even discovered something that other people don't even know, and it's only through those experiences that you do, isn't it? As much as heartbreaking as they are.
100%. And I think before, I got into coaching, I had my own coach, and he said to me one day, he said, if you have a story to tell that could help just one other person, then you're being selfish not sharing it. And I think that really hit me, because as you know, I've got stories to tell. Things have happened in our lives. And I think that my story led me to where I am today. Now, I wouldn't want anybody to go through what we've been through personally. I wouldn't wish that on, my worst enemy. Not that I have enemies, but I wouldn't want anybody to go through that. But if my story can help just one other mum out there, or just somebody who's going through some tough times, well, then who am I not to share it? Who am I not to say? And, my story led me into coaching, and now I have the honour of supporting women, all around the world in their day-to-day lives and how they raise their children. And I'm humbled and honoured by that people now put their trust in me. And that all came from some pretty tragic circumstances. So if those things hadn't happened to me in my life, I wouldn't be sitting here today doing what I love doing, supporting women, but also contributing to a book. So we've got to change the way we look at things that happen to us. We're always going to have adversity, but it's how we build resilience. Everyone's going to experience change. That's guaranteed. But the question really is, how that's going to challenge you, but how are you going to become out of that? And I truly believe that when we change our mindset, we don't just change our own lives, we change our family, our children. I still work in corporate, so we change our workplaces, our community, and then our own future. And I want my child to see how I live my life, not how I say I'm living my life. But if we role model resilience, how to fail, because we all need our children to fail, that's how they learn. We role model our mindset, how we have boundaries, how we respect ourselves. As a parent, I think that's the greatest gift we can give our children.
So important. I want to just capture all that. Just go back, reverse, watch it all again. Guys, go reverse, watch that all again. So inspiring, Katrina. And it's such an important message for us to have in this world right now, because this is the next generation that we are leading, and we have to lead. And I don't know, from my own experience of my kids, they don't listen to what I say, but they see what I do, and they learn from that. So I think that that's so important for us to be that, and to think not just of the current where we are at, to think of what's coming behind us, and to be part of that solution, isn't it? Of what they're choosing, because things are growing fast in our generation, a lot faster than previous ones, and we're handing over a baton. It's really interesting times. So thank you so much, Katrina, for sharing, for showing up, and for inspiring everyone today.
Thank you. And thank you so much, for having me. And it's been an absolute pleasure. And as I said, I'm honoured to be in such a cohort of some amazing stories. And I love the people you surround yourself with. And I think people that you bring into your community all have the same outlook in life. And we're all here to leave legacies of light and love and compassion into the world.
I just breathing that in, because I am very blessed. There's so many phenomenal people around, and we're going to see Katrina on the Hear Us Roar stage in New York on the 11th of November. So watch that space. Come and connect with you if you're there. You're very welcome to come and join our event and listen to more of Katrina's amazing inspiring words. Amazing. Thank you so much, Katrina.
So much.
And happy launch day. Oh, sometimes I just get goosebumps, and a wave of emotion hits me whenever I really connect with all of these stories. And then, you know, and it's just so powerful. So thank you to all of our authors. And today we've got another amazing author who's coming in from Adelaide, which is the wonderful Sue. I'm not going to say your surname and sabotage you with my Irishness. Can you please share it with everyone?
Hello, it's Sue Giacobbe.
I would never have said that, and it sounds so beautiful coming from you. But I'm going to try it. Giacobbe, did I get it?
Beautiful, beautiful. You don't know until you try it, right?
Exactly. It's just trying to get my tongue around things. My brain and my tongue do different things whenever I'm introducing people.
I relate. I love your Irish accent. So it's just beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I forget I have it sometimes, but there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you come in to Hear Us Roar and shared a story, and it took courage, didn't it?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that process? Because I think it's important for people and readers to understand that people are showing up and sharing. And they're important stories, but it comes from a space of, you know, being called to share your story and maybe not being ready yet.
Yes, jump in and just learn to swim.
Yes, exactly. Sink or swim.
Firstly, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story. It's been sitting there, you know, this desire isn't the right word, but this I don't know what you would call it, a calling to share it.
It's one of the 5. I used to work in mental health, and the call to share your story is one of the final stages of healing. It's just amazing.
Wow, I just got goosebumps. I didn't know that, but that is what it felt. And sometimes a calling can be a heavy burden, right? Because you might not be ready for it, but there is a greater purpose to it. And so, yes, when I was approached and you know, introduced to Hear Us Roar, which I'd never heard of before, and the gorgeous Robin Varral introduced us, it was a scary and exciting moment for me. And I said yes quickly, because I knew it just, you know, had to be. And so thank you also for the support and the guidance around the process and putting it down. And I know that I struggled with the vulnerability of putting out what I was going to put out, because I also wanted it to be from a space of healing. I wanted it to be, I'm not sure, but you might be muted, Karen. I wanted it to be from a space of healing, and also, you know, something that inspired other women to step forward and step back into the essence of being themselves. And so we, you know, that was the, I guess, the driver for me when I said yes and began to put pen to paper.
And it's what you do in the Ignite Academy as well, isn't it? You're there helping people as well. So you have to walk the talk and show and be that inspired leader for others. But I know it wasn't easy, but you were also very passionate about it. You were so determined, and you showed up with such courage and your whole attitude towards it all. I was like, go Sue. I was like, go Sue, go through. And once you started writing, it just flowed out of you, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And it was great to know that, you know, there was also someone there that would look at it and go, yes, that is, you know, it captures the essence of what I wanted it to be, and that my words actually came together. Because I think Lauren talked about dyslexia. I didn't find out until I was an adult. And so sometimes I'm like, but is it saying what I intend it to say, when I put words on paper? But doing that was also a bit cathartic, to know that I can do it in a way that it is for the purpose of healing, and it is the gift that I can give others, not just the gift for myself.
Even the process itself and the story, but the process is really inspiring for others, because not everybody in Hear Us Roar, actually most of the people in Hear Us Roar a lot of people haven't written before, and so and so putting out something, and you've got inhibitions around that. That's a lot of things that we work with people is, and then also, I wasn't good at English at school. That were you studying to be an editor? That's what they need to do. You just need to be able to tell the story. You need to have experience and share your experiences, and then let the editors do their job. I know I would not be a writer if it wasn't for editors, and so many people have a mental block, and I'm talking about mindset here. People have a mental block around writing, when they don't have to be exquisite writers. They just need to share. And there's so many people not sharing their stories because they think they're not great writers, but that's the editors' jobs. Editors mold and shape books into what we read at the end. It's an evolution.
And we have such great tools now. If we can't write it down, or we think we can't write it down, because these are all blocks, right? And this is part of the mindset. If we think we can't write it down, we can always speak it into a recording which transcripts it.
Yes, exactly. Right? So you could be a better speaker. Can you talk to me, because I know you're a genius, so I know what you've got in there. Can you speak to us on mindset and how people, resist change?
Yes. The interesting thing is, as we've said before, change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. How we respond to change is the crux of it all. It's the magic in how we respond to change. Our resistance is because we fear the unfamiliar, even if the familiar is unhealthy for us, because that is what we know. And I get goosebumps when I say it, because we get stuck in the familiar, even if it is our cage.
Yeah.
And I'm so passionate about helping people release themselves from the cage that keeps them captive, that isn't allowing them to live the truest life, that truest being of self that they really are.
Oh, you've activated all of my goosebumps. So powerful. And you see it in people. You can see it in their eyes. You can feel it from their energy whenever they're fearful of taking the next step that they know they should within themselves, because their own internal guidance system is calling them. But they're conflicted because it's not familiar. And so they need to incorporate new habits and things that are a bit unfamiliar, and make some changes in their life. That, the magic happens outside your comfort zone, doesn't it, Sue?
Correct. Because what happens is our nervous system starts to readjust. Mm-hmm. And what we need is to rewire those default settings in our brain that keep us stuck in the old habits. Because everything we do are pattern, strategies, and habits. So when we make a choice to change those patterns, habits, and strategies for healthier ones, more resourceful ones, we become aware, which is the very first step. So the moment we become aware, that is step one. The next thing is, what do I need to do to step into the new way of being, which, can I say, is going back to self, remembering who always were, because we were created this gorgeous being of light until life stuff happened and we forgot who we were. And so it's about reclaiming back that original authentic self, that essence, the light within us, right?
And that's it. It's an inside job.
Yes.
And one of the things that I'm like, once people get that, and once people so many people resist going inwards, because you're going to feel all the feels, you're going to see parts of yourselves you don't you know, and you're going to have to do a bit of work. And a lot of people hold back from that, but just know that whenever you do that, you're rewarded. You're fulfilled. You find this peace that you never knew existed or could exist. And then you go out into life from that place. Wow, you're going to experience huge, you're going to see things differently. You're going to experience life differently. It's just, you know, a lot of people reach outside for the answers when all of the answers are within, you know. Correct. It's just, it's so important, so important.
And we look to blame, and I say blame, we don't do it consciously, but we look to blame everything else around us, and we forget that we actually have choice and power. Mm. No matter what our circumstance is, and I say this coming from a very, very challenging circumstance that I had to move through and move out of, we have choice and we have power in deciding what is the next step we're going to take. It takes courage. It takes determination. It takes surrounding us with the people around us that will assist us and support us in doing that. Yeah. It's asking for help. It's doing anything and everything we can to step into that life that was always meant to be ours, not the lie that we're living that is unhealthy, unresourceful, that keeps us stuck.
I feel like we've got a masterclass in Sue here. That's so good. Oh, so it's so refreshing to hear all of this. And I know you're speaking from experience. So that is, and I totally resonate and connect with it all. And it's such an important message for us to get out there. Like everyone on this panel has got huge insights and experience that will help someone else on the journey. And it's all about us, you know, helping others and bringing others along on the journey and saying, we got you. It's okay. I know it's maybe dark. I know it's maybe scary, but you will be rewarded if you do the work. You know, you've got to have the struggle before the breakthrough. It's part of the 5 stages of the soul. So let's just do it. Let's get on with the job and start taking steps towards it. And then you feel more aligned within yourself, don't you? It's just phenomenal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I say to my clients, I know that you feel like you're in a dark tunnel now, but I'm the light at the end of the tunnel because I know there's the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to hold that light for you at the end of the tunnel, knowing that you can walk to that light and you can then ignite that within yourself. Because when we light up, then we pass that on to others. And it's like this ripple effect of igniting, helping light up each other with the gift that we have within us.
Absolutely. Breath of fresh air. So thank you so much. And thank you for sharing all of that with our viewers. I know that it's just going to ignite something beautiful within someone that will have a ripple effect, because we don't just reach one person, we reach everyone around them. And we have to be mindful of that. It's beautiful. Thank you, Sue. Thank you for joining. So much. Beautiful. Thank you. We have one more co-author for you to meet, and it's the wonderful, I'm not going to say your surname, Angie, either. You can come and say it too. But it's the wonderful Angie who's coming to us all the way from the States. Whereabouts are you, Angie?
I am in Southern California. I'm in South Orange County, so halfway between San Diego and Los Angeles. So I think most people know those two places.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. That's good to be sandwiched in between those two. There's a lot of energy in both those places.
Yes, a lot of beautiful places to visit.
And you are empowering women in midlife. You know, you got a few here today.
Yes. Oh my goodness. This has just been incredibly inspiring. I just love hearing these kinds of stories. They really do. One of the things I talk about in my chapter is permission. Like one of the things as we're going through mindset and change is to give yourself permission to change, right? And I think all of these stories that all these women share is when you hear those stories, you can relate that we're all so much more alike than we are different. And we go, oh gosh, you know, I don't have to, you know, be like shameful or anything or whatever story I'm experiencing. There are other people like me, and historically we've not shared it. And I think we're in a point in society we're starting to do this so much more, which is giving women permission to really get out there and share their stories and recognize how much more we are alike. And that allows us to shift and change more readily. I mean, I know I've seen it in the last couple of years with I've gone through health challenges, which is my Empowering Women in Midlife community, because creating that for women to help them like work through challenges. And when you hear other people's stories, then it gives you to go, oh, okay, maybe I could do that too. Okay, maybe I'll give myself permission. And I remember when I first heard that somebody says, give yourself permission to do that. I said, you mean you can do that? You can just give yourself permission to do something, right? I mean, I didn't know I could do that. So it's pretty empowering. And like listening to all these women has just been incredibly inspiring because they do have incredible things to share, incredible stories.
It's like someone just opens the door for you, doesn't it? And lets you out of the room.
Yes. Yes,
feel stuck in.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You see a whole
100%.
new world.
Right. You know, it was interesting when you and Lauren were talking. I wanted to follow on with that because it really was interesting when you said it's really the power of words. And when I had a similar story when I was in college, and you know, it took me 6 years to get through college. And in the first two, I was just taking class after class, and ended up going into a class where I was really inspired by the content. And it turned out it was based in engineering. And I'm like, what is this? You know, engineering, I would never do that. So I went and talked to the dean of pre-engineering, and he was so inspiring. And, you know, he just motivated me. He says, we would absolutely love to have you in the College of Engineering. And I'm like super motivated, really excited. So I go to my dean of College of Letters and Science, sat her down with my transcripts and everything. And she looked at my transcripts because I had a couple bad semesters. And she said, you'll never make it as an engineer. And I think back on that, right? Similar to the stories you were talking about with Lauren, is that we hear those words and it's how do we choose to respond to that, right? What's our mindset? Are we going to go, oh, that person, yeah, they're right. I probably shouldn't do that. Or am I going to be motivated to drive harder to do that much more? And for me, I did go and get my degree in engineering, but I think about how many people get told those stories and get disheartened, right? And then they don't go down that path and they pick a different path, right? So it's about that awareness, I think, about what our choices are and how we can choose to show up and what actions we can take, right? And some of us, it takes us different processes to get there. I think, like, honestly, sitting down and reading a book of these stories, for me, I would consider that like a tool to help women get through some of these challenges. Like if you're in a like dark place, when I wrote my chapter, when you reached out to me, I was in a really dark, heavy spot in my life. And I just kind of think, and it was really hard for me to write because I was so stuck. I didn't know how to get out of it. So I was really kind of going through it and writing. And honestly, my story showed up for this book because of that experience. And what I did is I allowed myself to just be in my feelings, right? And I think I've historically not given myself permission to do that. Right? It's like, oh, I'll just stuff them down, and then end up with, you know, physical ailments and things like that. But I think it was really powerful to kind of allow my body to just be in it and cry miserably and, you know, all the things I needed to go through. But then recognize I get to choose to take a different action too, right? I don't want to sit there for weeks on end in that dark, sad place, right? I need to recognize I do have a pathway out, and it's just what's the process for you. Each person can choose different things. Honestly, pick up this book and read it, and I think I would just be inspired to shift and change, right? Another thing, whether you meditate or journal or whatever, movement is a big one, right? But it's like understanding what are your tools to move through some of those things. So you like giving me this platform during that dark time really did help me kind of figure out my pathway to get through that. And I thank you for that, because honestly, it was a joy to help me through my darkness at that time.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know that, but I did know you were going through a tough time, but I did not know that. And that's the thing. Like, you could have easily had the excuse to go, wow, now is not the right time for this, or, you know, and not giving yourself permission to go, wow, this is a bit of a light here, a light in my tunnel, and I'm going to go to the light and let it grow and all of those things.
Well, and it's like going in, right? Someone else was talking about, like, allow yourself to go in and understand what's bubbling up, right? How, like, why am I feeling this way? What am I experiencing? What are my values in life? Am I behaving, against my values or towards my values? And it's like, really ask yourself those questions. And I think that's where, when I was in that dark place, it's kind of like, okay, is this the place? Is this who I want to be? Do I want to be this sad and miserable person? No, I don't like those feelings, right? But for me to get out of it, I'm going to have to choose something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do something differently. This isn't going to work. Sure, I could sit on the couch and cry, or go lay in the backyard and, be miserable, and whatever that
It's okay
action
to do
is.
that for a moment.
Yeah,
and let
it's
it
okay.
out,
Right.
you know?
And that's
Don't do
right.
that.
That's exactly it. It's
Don't
like, it's
live
okay.
there forever. Don't set up camp. It's like,
Yeah, and it's like sometimes we just go like this, right? And it's okay to go like that, but don't let yourself sit down there for too long, because you don't want to get stuck down there. And it's just remembering you have the tools and you have the ability, and pick what tools are those for you as a person to help yourself when you're in it. And when you need to be in it, just be in it, cry miserable, red-faced and all that, do all those things, and whatever you need to do to just get it out of your body, or scream into a pillow, all of that stuff.
don't suppress it,
Right,
Got to
exactly.
let it out. One of the
Yeah.
things that is really coming through for me right now, and I have to share it, and it's thank to you that it came true, but there's a lot of people, and somebody might be watching this today, that feel stuck or is listening to other people's opinions of what they think that they should do. And it's important that the filter system, and you understand that that's within you, that you are in control of those choices. And that, yes, it may take a bit of courage to say, well, sorry, that's not for me. And I know it's not. But it's better to be courageous in that moment than live a lifetime or half a lifetime pursuing something, somebody else's idea and not yours, because I witnessed it so much with a lot of people that I went to school with. They were doing things that their parents wanted them to do, or somebody suggesting to them that they, or even a career person was wanting to tick a box on a certain amount of, and navigated people in there, and it wasn't their calling. Because when you're called, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was 31 years of age. Okay, so I was on an adventure until then. I was lots of different jobs, and then I was like, I done all these jobs because I have content for books forever in my life. I have all these different experiences, and I understand now in hindsight why I experienced that. But there's no logic to what I was doing, but I understood and was guided that it was the next step, and I trusted it. So it takes courage to do that, because it's not a definite, I had faith that I just done, and I had the support. I was lucky, but it takes a bit of courage for people. And even now, wherever you are, because we're forever reinventing what you wanted then, you not wanted now, and you may have to make a big choice to step out of it. Like, I see people stepping out of corporate and going, right, I've climbed this ladder, not fulfilled. I've ticked all the boxes. I've got all the accolades, but I don't feel as if I've lived.
Right.
No,
and I think one of the things I think for women, and I think this is so powerful for women, is that I don't know how often do we really ask ourselves, what do I want? And really sit with that question. Right. And it can start with this, honestly, I will sit in the car sometimes and drive, and it's like, what do I want? What do I want? And I'll start simple. Oh, I just want to go get a Starbucks coffee, or I want to, write a book, or I want to go to the beach. Right. And just start asking yourself that question and see what shows up. Do it for 10 minutes. Right. And, maybe something will come out that you didn't know you really wanted to do. But I think, we don't often ask ourselves. And when we focus on that want, then that brings that positive feeling and the gratitude. And then all of a sudden that more abundance thinking starts approaching you, and things coming. So it's kind of a tool, really, almost in mindset change, right? Is to focus on that positive, that what do you want? What am I grateful for? Those types of things. I think that can be really powerful. But, when you're stuck in the muck, sometimes it's hard to be in that space.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the thing, is to say yes to something that your heart's going, whoa, okay. And it doesn't
100%.
have to be huge. It doesn't have to be far. You don't have to take a run, leap, and jump outside of your comfort zone. A little side step is still a step, and it's
100%. I'll be honest, it was a couple of weeks ago, I was in kind of a little bit of a funk, and my head was just spinning. I was spinning about some, things I was stressing about in the future, and just ruminating about things in the past. And I couldn't get out of it. And I'm like, okay, I know how to do this. I know what to do. Movement. To me, movement works, right? So I literally just, got my shoes on, walked out the front door, and just walked. And I just walked and walked, and I did some box breathing, right? And then all of a sudden, it was maybe 15, 20 minutes, it's like that I felt this weight drop from my shoulders.
Yeah.
And like, it can be those simple things, and it's recognizing for each one of us which of those tools works for us when we're in that space, right?
Doesn't it takes all that effort to get off that sofa, get out there and walk. You go, and I no more want to do this. And then you go out and you feel all the benefits of it.
Right. And then it's like, you're in this present moment, like in this moment while I'm walking, life is amazing. Like this specific moment. Maybe there's something out here that's scary. Maybe there was something back here.
Problems in my brain.
Right.
Exactly. Got all the answers now.
Right. But right now, it's a beautiful moment.
Yes, exactly. And we do need to live in the beauty of the moments of the present to be able to experience the beautiful moments in the future. So we have to, keep that. That's a really important thing.
Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget that. So it's like that reminder
to say, you know what? We all need reminders.
Exactly.
No matter how much work we do, we always make reminders of that.
Well, like you said, we're always evolving. We're always evolving and shifting, and we forever will, right? Until the end.
Exactly.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, this has been such a pleasure.
Angie,
Karen,
thank
honestly.
you so much.
Grateful
I really appreciate
this.
you. I'm mindful we've went way over time, but I've loved every conversation. So I just want to thank everybody. I'm going to bring up Katrina and Sue because Lauren had to go, and so did Kelly. Thank you, ladies, for joining us. Can we just celebrate Hear Us Roar Leopard edition, and we would love to invite everybody to go and grab their copy today and to enjoy it, and we'd love to hear who resonated with you, because there's going to be some stories that will resonate with you and maybe activate something and give you an answer to a problem that you might have or inspire something. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. Bye.